Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose, news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger stuff as a post archive, Patreon for X support, and updates here and there on the Twitter X. Later today we should have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order episode. And yeah, yesterday I managed to finally, after YouTube managed to process to 4K the VOD episode from the first Elden Ring, which was on Saturday, if not mistaken. I think so. And then when I can, I will upload the second one from Sunday. Regarding live streams, I don't know. I don't have a fixed schedule yet, but I will. I'm doing some stuff on the background. I don't know. I will try to jump in today, see if I can. Just pay attention to the Twitter's thing there. If I stream, I usually like half an hour before I'll tweet about it, so everybody can join on the party there. I will the next live stream I will try something different regarding the setup, at least from my back end. Hopefully you don't notice a difference and see if I don't have the same issue that I had last time with codec being overloaded, mainly because I was doing using the hardware encoding both for streaming and both for recording. That's why I think it reached the time there that just the codec overloaded there. I will try something different here, and hopefully there is no difference, at least on the live stream. The recording will always be 4K 60, even if I tweak anything else on the live stream. Again, because I'm just having my PC here. It's a very good PC, but like long term, like not long term, but long streams, everything 4K 60. I think it's a little bit too much after a while for the PC to handle, but yeah, hopefully everything will be okay on the next stream. I will tweak some stuff here on the OBS part of things here, but yeah, let's get and of course I already put the playlist here. If you want to catch up with everything from Elden Ring. Again, my gameplay of Elden Ring is going to be trying to look for every nook and cranny, at least getting around all the trying to unveil most secrets possible on the first gameplay. And I have a general direction where to go, but again, I advise you to keep up with the live streams there. Some news here, interesting ones. Seemingly NVIDIA is going to launch the RTX 2000 Ada workstation GPU stuff for small companies or even independent creators, something like that. This is basically it's a AD107, which is the lowest end of this kind of GPUs here for workstations. I think it's got a little bit improvement from last generation, which is 16 gigabytes of VRAM, but the memory interface is still 128-bit, so I suppose it's like in a clamshell kind of a thing there. But yeah, given that the top end is the 6000 Ada, based on basically the same chip, we have the 4090. Of course, it's a completely huge amount of money. I think it's too much, even though of course this is mainly aimed for workstation kind of workloads there, so it's not suitable for gaming. But yeah, even at this price point, when you get around this thing, I think it almost compensates just spending the money on the 4090 and maybe tweak around and do the workstation thing there, mainly because of the settings here. You got like 1/3 of CUDA core from the RTX 4000 small form factor Ada here. Yeah, it's again, it's like the extra chips that they have laying around there that are not good, for example, for consumer market, for gaming purposes, so they just throw around and put some workstation there and make huge amounts of money out of it. At least that's my perception of the thing here, at least at the lower hand here. Yeah, they're trying to capitalize on the chips that they are not good enough in terms of yields for the gaming stuff. and they are not good to sell for server, like huge amount of quantities. So yeah, again, I'm not very familiarized with this kind of GPUs, but my perception is yeah, it's just a money grab. Even though I suppose they are decent enough in the lower end to do stuff there regarding productivity works, but yeah. Again, with the AI craze and bubble, they are just capitalizing on this thing. I think that one of the good things is there's no power connection required, because basically it's a power limit of 70 watts, so you can have that as a reference of how powerful this GPU is not comparatively with the rest of the lineup there. But yeah, it's my main takeaway is they just trying to capitalize on the like lower end chips that don't serve any purpose, and they just repurposing all of this in something that it's, I suppose, is relatively cheap to do, and just trying to squeeze money to their pockets. Continue with some GPU stuff. Supposedly Gigabyte is going to launch the 7900. I was almost saying 79,000. 7900 GRE, so Golden Rabbit Edition. At the beginning, was basically China only market kind of a thing here. Supposedly the availability was expanded to some countries in Europe and some Asian countries also. The interesting thing about this GPU is basically the die itself is a Navi 32, which is basically 7800 XT, but with a full GPU chip by itself, a Navi 31 GPU. It has some limits there on in terms of what it does, but it's basically in terms of performance, I think, from, if not mistaken, between a 7900 XTX and a 7900 XT. I think it goes around between those kind of performances, and then again, it's just a matter of how much will it cost on other markets to see if it is comparable in terms of value there. Even though it goes around the same kind of TDP than the 7800 XT, but yeah, it's not a bad GPU by itself, if it is of course priced at I don't know, a little bit more maybe than the 7800 XT, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see the prices that will turn out to be for this GPU. Regarding gaming, we got more info regarding Nightingale preview. There was like it's still 8 days until the early access launch again. Just a quick note, this is going to be an early access, and if not mistaken, this game is going to stay in early access for around 1 year, give or take. So they are not obliged to maintain anything they are saying they are going to do here, but it seems they are in a good track here. But yeah, they did a remote presentation, basically to recap like the main highlights from the game itself. Again, this is going to be one of the things that interests me on this game is the fact that it's going to be Unreal Engine game. It's priced fairly okay-ish. We'll see how the content that it comes at launch on the early access will provide value or not for this price. It's basically crafting and survival stuff there, a lot of the main gameplay loop. But yeah, one of the things that interested me more also is the alternative story there. Basically, according to the lore, like the Fae appeared around the 1500s, then the city, which is the Nightingale city, became the next magical studies in progress, and all the portals basically that they are basically all there to a certain degree between the human realm and the other realms, and then supposedly all the humans are realm walkers that go around between all the realms, and then again there was like a major change in the 1889 with the Mysterian miasma called the Pale. Again, you have to have this kind of thing, so or else it's just a fantasy world. spreading across from the Fey realms to Earth, collapsing the existing portal network. Basically, you start off as a newbie thing, and then you, I don't know, you have to go around and solve the issues there between the realms. But the thing is, continue with the lore. It's kind of very traditional on what the Fey kind of thing there. Supposedly they are split. It is split between summer and winter courts. The summer is governed by Oberon from a Midsummer Night's Dream. I think this is a Shakespeare work. It's welcoming but fickle. The latter, so the winter court is ruled by Beira, distant, suitable Frosty, of course. There are also some Fey Ronin scattered around, so some NPCs there. Afterwards, you get the basic stuff in terms of crafting, but then you can imbue with Fey magic, some weapons and tools, which is interesting. Then you got a lot of NPCs from history and fiction, like some of them are Ada Lovelace, Nellie Bly, I don't remember this name, Alan Quatermain, which is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, kind of a fiction there. Harry Hyde from Jack and Have. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde tales there. So you got a mix and match here of some historical fiction, like seems pretty interesting. Again, of course, this is going to be multiplayer, but there is also some other less obvious multiplayer elements, like asynchronous multiplayer there, when you can leave gifts for your own realm. You can leave, like, I suppose, similar to Elden Ring, so you have like summon signs where people can join on your world, and you can leave gifts in your world for people that join there. This kind of thing seems very interesting, and of course the thing is you can do everything absolutely solo, which is good. You're more a solo guy and you don't feel compelled to, or if you want just make a section just by yourself, you can do that. So there is mix and match, you can do whatever you fancy. At the launch, supposedly it's going to be like 3 main biomes, which is desert, forest, and swamp. Again, each one has a different survival pressure, which is interesting. Then you got the realm card types, which is one of the mechanics that also sparks my curiosity here. Which the realm cards are divided in biomes, major and minor. The biomes, it's self-explanatory. Then you got the major realm card types, which sets the real realm power and also tweaks the theme of the world, such as the hunt or the antiquarian. So might have some themes like something more exploratory, or there's more aggressive. I suppose you have like more monsters, they are more aggressive. So in terms of survivability and the way you go about the game, I suppose it's different. And then the last one, the minor, it goes about variables regarding abilities, weather, resources, or even gravity. Which is, again, this system seems pretty interesting to me, even though I'm not very survival crafting games guy. But if you have this kind of tweaks that can have some more variety, because usually my perception of crafting survival games is always the same thing. You have like you can game the system pretty consistently, doing the same thing, and here similarly you have more variety to go about and try to tackle the systems in a different way. Seems a little bit more interesting for me. That's why this game sparked my curiosity since it was announced. But yeah, these minor cards, at this moment you put one card that replaces another. This can be put it in a realmic transmuter, like a watchtower of some sorts, where you basically influences the world through these minor cards. At this moment is replaceable cards, but I think they are trying to see if it is doable to have several of them at the same time, so the effects can be ramped up. I assume difficulty will be ramped up the more cards you put. But yeah, very interesting. Again, a lot of stuff is generally sorry. Oh my god, procedurally generated. That's the what I wanted to say. But yeah, the main thing of this game a lot is going to be the crafting and survival, but it's about hunting creatures, of which are fable versions, drop. For late game, it's Apex Hunt, so it's going to be a little bit more in terms of cooperative cooperative things around there. So I don't know, similar like Destinies and all the such, where realm walkers band together to defeat massive predators. And then we have vaults and bunkers. I assume this is like dungeons specifically, where basically it's combat heavy dungeons with unique challenges and rewards. Then the vault and the bunkers are randomized as well. Seems that they are in a good path, at least for this kind of game. We'll see how it goes. And they have also a lot of feedback from the community, and some stuff they already want to implement throughout, at least for the beginning of this early access. Sorry, I just scrolled. Which is cute crafting from storage, user interface updates, and more robust NPC controls, of course. Again, this is an early access when it launches in around 8 days, but so far it seems pretty good. Again, keep an eye on the usual suspects regarding reviews to have a better impression of how this game works, and maybe it's a good choice of game for you. Again, I'm so busy, I don't have I'm at the moment to put myself in a early access on this kind of game. This is very time consuming, but yeah, it's one of those that it is on my interesting kind of games to try out one of these days. So I will keep my eyes on this one for a while here. Continuing, you got again. I managed to screw the order of this up. We got a deal here. It's part of the art where I like to separate things. I'm so sorry. There is, I've been watching some videos here and there because mainly of my live stream issues, mainly the way I stream and the quality of the streams that I want to achieve. I know the best setup is like a dual PC setup. I was thinking, okay, what is even like a good PC to play with and everything. And yeah, still the 5800X3D is still an excellent CPU for gaming. Even comparatively with the 7800X3D, which has a lot of around, I don't know, 15% uplift at 1080p gaming. Again, this is 1080p gaming, but even at a 4K gaming, if you have an excellent GPU, you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a decent CPU motherboard combo. And even with DDR4 in AM4 platform, you can do excellent gaming at 4K because mainly the bottleneck will be the GPU itself at 4K. And this combo seems very interesting. Again, I'm not sure if it's still on the offer because at the time of the article they said it should be around 24 hours. So again, yeah, 22 hours from the screen capture. Again, even if this deal is off, this serves more for people that are buying new platforms. That AM4 is still a very viable platform. They are launching still some new CPUs. The most recent ones, the 5700X3D, which is not that low in terms of performance comparatively with this CPU. The B450 motherboards are more than good to deal with if you want a gaming PC. Even with DDR4 very cheap. These motherboards are also very cheap. And then you can have like if you have even if it decent DDR4, I forget the speeds there, but I think it's 3600, not mistaken. You can have very good 32 gigabyte system there with excellent memory there that's going to let you play between 1440p, 4K, and even 1080p. The system handles itself pretty well, and you don't have to do like a huge amount of investment. I think around this kind of price, around $300, if you can get even you don't need a 5800, you don't even need an X3D CPU to have good gaming experiences on an AM4 platform. I think a $300 with a good CPU, motherboard and RAM, it's more good than enough to even play 4K if you pair it with a decent GPU there, even with a 7900 XTX or even with a 4080. It can handle pretty well with integrated with this kind of system to play for you to play 4K. There is no need to spend the double of this money to have an AM5 platform. Even though again, if you're building new, you can okay the platform sustainability, but yeah, for gaming, I don't think there is the need of jumping necessarily to AM5. even though I did that jump by myself, but again, I just bought a 7700X at the time, and I made the math at the time with the deals they were off, they were on at the time, and the budget that the people gave me, my clients, they made like they joined some of them, and they put some money, and they said, okay, for you to improve your work and increase the variety of your work for us, we managed to scrounge around X amount of money. You can build your own PC. So here's the money, do the things, and build your own PC. Basically, that's how it happened. And then since then, I've been able to do everything for the channel, and of course increase my workload for my clients, and that provide me better capabilities to do things for the channel also in my free spare time. But yeah, that's why I jumped at the time, because I had basically the budget to do so. But if not, I would go for an M4 platform for sure. For what it's worth in terms of uplifts, in terms of performance, I think you can do well beyond with only with an M4 platform. There's no need for you to FOMO because of AM5 platform comparative with AM4. But yeah, basically this is regarding hardware. Now I finished with the hardware stuff. Continuing with gaming, the Thaumaturge PC was delayed around like almost 2 weeks, give or take, 1 week and a half, and basically it's mainly because of the release window. It seems to be a little bit busy for Full Theory and 11-bit studios, so they just delayed like one week and a half. It's not a big thing. We already seen some previews. The game seems pretty good. I think it's more about having some eyeballs on the game when it launches, and they just basically delayed to March 4th, so it's not a big deal. So there is no like worries of not being completely polished, something like that. Of course, they will take this week and a half to continue to do the final polishing, even after the release. Of course, usually there is some polish to do so, because again, to a certain degree, all players are to a certain extent beta testers of the game itself. But yeah, I'm hopeful this game is pretty good, and I hope the reviews are good. I saw some previews here and there, and people are very interested in this game and seem pretty satisfied. So, and they have very positive feedback regarding the game. So hopefully this is one of those that I will delve deep, because I like this kind of games. And yeah, and basically the last one news here is Xbox official podcast, the one that Phil Spencer was talking about for this week, is going to happen on the February 15th, so in about 2 days, and basically to share updates on the Xbox business. It's going to have Phil Spencer, President Sarah Bond, and Head of Studios Matt Booty. It's going to be available on YouTube, so I will keep my eyes on this, because at this moment in time Xbox is doing everything PC also, so it interests me, this kind of a thing here. Again, I will not address the recent rumors. We are only 2 days away for having all the official information from the mouths of the guys that are in charge of Xbox there. So hopefully in the 16th I might be able to get my feedback regarding this kind of podcast format of some sorts. I suppose it will be like 1 hour and a half. I don't know. They seem to be not putting themselves in a time constraint there in terms of the duration of the podcast itself. For sure, it's not going to be live. It's going to be edited out for sure. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they have to say here. And for today, this is what I got. So I'm just going to wrap up some gaming deals. We got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, 84% off. Again, it's the free games, the remastered in 4K, Ultra HD, or whatever it is, and plus the free games with all the DLC associated with it. I think it's a good deal. This is a very decent trilogy, at least in terms of sci-fi kind of a thing there. At the time when it launched, broke a lot of boundaries there on in terms of how games are made, especially with the saving system. It goes is shared between all the free games there, so all the choices that you made on the first will translate into the next ones. Yeah, you got some side-by-side comparisons, but yeah. We got also Children of Morta. Again, this is also from 11-bit studios. They usually publish some pretty decent games, and this one is a very positive reviews. Again, hack and slash, roguelike, isometric view, family of guardians to keep the darkness out, but then again something happened and the darkness came in, and now they have to expel the darkness. Basically, it's like, I think it's the main gist of the thing. And then you fight your way through, of course, with a lot of powers and all that stuff, and all the roguelike kind of systems that you have there. It's pretty interesting. It's one of those that I will dive deep one of these days for sure. We got also Miasma Chronicles, the same guys that developed Mutineer Zero Road to Eden, the one that I'm doing a gameplay series on. From what I understand, this improved a lot on the positives that the first game had, and improved also on some aspects that were not that refined on the first game. And the story is in a different universe, completely different characters. I'm very interested on playing this game also. Then you have also Domekeeper, 51% off. Again, this it's like a tower defense, pixel graphics with a lot of challenges. I think they're still doing like weekly challenges on levels there, and you got plus a lot of DLCs with they are content DLCs, so they have like different biomes and different domes and all that jazz, and even different characters there that you can control. It seems pretty interesting, seems pretty addictive, and of course very positive reviews all around. It's one of those that I'm very also interested in trying out, and probably do a gameplay series. We got also No Man's Sky, 50% off. Again, not much else to tell. It's one of those that if you like immersive sci-fi and doing a lot of stuff now with all the content they launched since the initial launch of the game, all the content drops, like 22 plus or 20 plus DLCs kind of a thing. It's all included in the base game. I think it's a very interesting game here. We got also Dark Souls stuff. Trilogy is still on sale until the 22, so 50% off on the first one. Again, this has the DLC associated with it, the remastered version. Dark Souls 2 Calls the First Sin is also have the DLC associated with it, 50% off also. And finally, Dark Souls 3, 50% off. Again, the deluxe edition is the one to go. It has the 2 DLCs there, Ashes of Ariandel and the Ring City. Again, excellent DLC, especially the Ring City, pretty tough one. You really need to complete and be very well prepared for that DLC there, or else you're going to get smashed in the face all over the place. But yeah, 50% off. Again, it's usually like one time per year that they put these games on sale, so I think it's a good opportunity to dive deep into Dark Souls. And then you got Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, 30% off. The standard edition. The deluxe edition, I think it's OST kind of thing there. Yeah, it's the soundtrack and digital art book. But yeah, it's one of those that, again, I will try them for sure. Got a lot of stuff to catch up still with 6 years not playing basically any games, so it's going to be very interesting. And finally, I got the little one here, Vampire Survivors. Again, seems a very addicting game, made by a handful of people, like literally a handful of people, and 15% off even at full price. This one, I think all the DLC OST, I think this is the one to go. Got all the DLC associated with it, even like $9 is nothing for what it offers. If you like, again, roguelike, bullet hell, pixel graphics, and silliness and addictiveness of the systems, I think this game is the way to go. And yeah, basically this is what I got for you today. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. Again, the extra support is more about the storage thing at the moment in time. I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until then, Kunamy Master out.